Uncle, I'm so excited to be Magi one day. What if I never grow up to be a Magi?
Of course you will. You are my son.
Uh-oh. The son is gonna die in like 3 seconds.
Hey, you want to feel old? The Magi anime turns 10 this year. Not that anyone remembers this series, it's like the anime version of the Mandela effect. So I thought it'd be nice to look back, particularly to investigate where the fuck all the hype went. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but I'm basically the most qualified person on earth to review this show. It's kind of a big deal. I helped make the first abridged series of it back when Mahou Productions was a thing.
Hey! Sinbad sees that you're upset, so Sinbad will offer you this pie.
What?
Okay, don't want that? Then Sinbad will offer you this winged Karibo.
What?
Don't want that either? Well, Sinbad will offer you Dragon Ball Evolution on DVD. If you don't want this, I understand. Nobody ever wants this.
That 8-year-old clip of Everlast 77 playing Sinbad is more entertaining than all the episodes of Magi combined. The fun part of this video is going to be figuring out how much I'm exaggerating when I say that. Magi the Labyrinth of Magic and Magi the Kingdom of Magic are respectively the first and second seasons of an anime with some serious multiple personality disorder. 1 minute it's an action-adventure comedy, the next it's a serious political drama, then Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, I think Pokemon's in there somewhere.
Hey, come to Rashid Jamal Allah Mohammed's outlet store. There's a Rayquaza in here.
But out of all that, it can only ever seem to do 1.5 of those things correctly. It doesn't help that during most of it there's an unsettling air of crappy pacing around the show since the Ball Bat arc was way too long, so everything afterward just feels like it's permanently 3 episodes behind schedule, even in parts of the second season. Do note that this criticism applies to the writing in Magi, whereas on a technical level, it's the exact opposite state of affairs. The visuals are fantastic, especially when any melee combat is going on, and then you got the music, which is actually a sibling to the Evangelion soundtrack. And I'm warning you right now, Shiro Sagisu was not fucking around this time.
Alright, we're gonna do it once more. And this time, no mistakes! 1, 2, 3, 4!
All of this combines to create a series that's undoubtedly iconic, but it tries to bite off way more than it can chew. Like I said, it wants to do every anime trope all in one show instead of just sticking with the one that worked fine for the first 3 episodes, after which the plot becomes very fragmented. For whatever reason, they thought it would be a good idea to do a separation arc as the second arc. And by the time the show recovers from that, the deep lore of Magi corrupts what was originally a very down-to-earth story. I'm talking, of course, about all Thamen, the greatest anime villains of all time. Like, you got Sinbad. This guy is so OP they needed a whole separate TV show to explain it, and we'll get to that in a second. But if they just let him run around and do whatever he wanted, Magi would have been 10 episodes long. So basically, they have to keep coming up with ways to make him not be at full strength. The first time is simple. Some guys just come up and steal his shit. That one was so absurd that I didn't even care, but in the arc immediately after that, this guy from Al-Thamen shows up. He then proceeds to transform into a snake, still waiting on the explanation for how he can do that. Then this happens.
Snake! It's biting me! Get it off!
Was that the bite of 87?
Then he waits a couple days, comes out of the bite wound, nuts on Sinbad's face, and now if he uses his metal vessels, he'll fall to the dark side of the Force. So as you can see, the writing in this show is basically top-notch. It's so good that I'm gonna switch over to Sinbad's show now because I feel sick to my stomach.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to bother you, but I am homeless and I am trying to get $5 to help feed me and my son. Please, anything helps. Money, food,
I'm very
water.
hungry.
Ladies, if you are pregnant and or lactating, I am accepting donations in the form of breast milk.
What you have to understand about Boku no Sinbad is that it takes all the ingredients from Magi and adds a Chad multiplier to them. The dungeons are more epic, the djinn abilities are more epic, even the presentation is given an old school fairy tale vibe. The show starts with Sinbad being born like he's the literal messiah. He comes out of his mom's butthole and everybody on the planet starts Vegeta gasping because they can sense the sheer unadulterated Sigma male energy coming off of this man. I said the dungeons are more epic, and yeah, there's dragons and shit. I didn't even know this franchise had dragons until this show. Also, this is the first djinn. Like, oh my god. Remember Alibaba's djinn? That fat piece of shit? And after that, there was only one more. Think about that. By the time Sinbad no Buken was on episode 6, they had already fulfilled the premise of the franchise as many times as both seasons of Magi. And then Sinbad invents surfing. How very interesting. I don't see Aladdin or Alibaba coming up with any sports.
Would you guys consider jacking off to be a sport?
But seriously, Sinbad's show is decent here and there, and I wasn't kidding when I said it has a better grasp on the concept of the franchise, but it's not amazing. It's actually pretty basic. Whereas Magi goes for more high concept stuff and backs out at the last second, Sinbad doesn't really have time to try that in the first place. It's more concerned with balancing being a complete and proper story that you can care about while also being an optional prequel to the main series. And so both shows end up feeling underwhelming, but with a few differences. Sinbad is a better protagonist than Aladdin or Alibaba, but Magi has better antagonists. I know I literally just said the exact opposite of that, but Judar. Do you see what I mean now? I think the fight between him and Ugo is the best scene in the whole franchise, mainly because Judar is such a cocky villain.
What was that? For just a second, I thought that man looked like a black...
The thing is, had Sinbad gotten more than 13 episodes, Judar would have actually shown up in that series, they just never got to it. But as both shows stand as they are right now, Magi is actually very slightly better. It feels more three-dimensional, even if it doesn't work out as often as Sinbad does, and it also has the Academy arc with Titus, who's a really good side character. I can't even remember the side characters from Sinbad. But again, overall, both of these series have a lot of problems with them, but they're not bad. Kind of. I mean, what is bad, really? I can't get mad at these shows because they're part of the baseline of modern anime for me, but isn't that what I criticize My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer for being? My Hero is toothless and mediocre just like Sinbad, and Demon Slayer has really stupid character motivations with really good music and animation that's wasted on a project that isn't anywhere near as ambitious as it should be to deserve that kind of special treatment. Then you realize the Ball Bad arc is Alibaba helping the guy that burned his house down.
Kasim? No need to kill him. Tie him up and leave him here.
Like, I keep having to go back and apologize to Demon Slayer. Why? Stop making me do that, Japan. So really, I guess they're all somewhat similar in quality. Or rather, the anime themselves are. But what about the fan bases? You look at the Magi fan base. I mean, you can't because it doesn't exist, but try to pretend like you're looking. Compare it to the My Hero or Demon Slayer fanbase, and you'll see why someone like me gets so mad when these shows miraculously become the most popular things ever made. I think the spell's finally starting to wear off for My Hero, but what the fuck even is Demon Slayer? Think about it like this.
Non-specific historical figure.
Demon Slayer by itself isn't the worst anime ever made, this is true. But what was
non-specific historical figure
really finna do by himself? He weighed 72 pounds. The problem isn't the problematic thing, the problem is the people that support the problematic thing and agree with its stupid thought processes, thus removing the addict from problematic. Look at these shows critically, after the dust from the hype has settled, and realize that they're all flawed. Every anime is in some way. But how much longevity will they have once you've rounded each fanbase down to the lowest common denominator and then wait 10 years after they finished? I would argue the Magi franchise has the best character designs, the best music, and the best fights per capita out of the three.
Where's the golden plunger, Dylan? Dylan's here! Dylan!
And these are the things that stay with you even after you start to forget the finer details. And that's why I think fondly of it today. Also because I'm biased and this video is a giant advertisement for Everlast channel.
Anyone would have taken one of your blueberry pies.